Podcast, the musical, it's a podcast, that's a musical, a podcast with a musical twist, and this week's story starts just like this.
Podcast, the musical, episode 2, we are back. So excited to bring you this podcast every time it comes out. I can't say every week, because it's been about a month since the first episode with Joe Coy, but hey, your feedback keeps fueling me, guys. This is definitely a quality over quantity podcast, and you'll know why once you get accustomed to what this podcast is about. This is a podcast where I do an interview and turn it into a musical. I go back into the conversation and make songs based on our interview. So this next episode we got today with Mona Tavakoli is packed. This is a packed episode. This is one of my favorite people in the world. First of all, I should say, if you want this podcast to come out more often, support it. Follow me on Instagram at Eric Schwartz with 3 E's, EEERICSCHWARTZ. It's pronounced Eric Schwartz. We got Facebook /Eric Schwartz with just 1 E. Twitter, Eric Schwartz. And on YouTube, Suburban Homeboy. That's where you can watch the podcast as a television show. We shoot all of these on a 3-camera shoot, thanks to my man Peter Marr. And it's so fun. It's definitely like a television show. We do music videos for a lot of the songs. So go check that out on youtube.com/Suburban Homeboy. If you want to financially support the podcast, I would love that. You can Venmo me at Eric Schwartz with 3 E's, EEERICSCHWARTZ. We got some generous donations from just the first episode, so let's do it. Today on the podcast, I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite people, Mona Tavakoli. She is a percussionist for the best in the world. She travels with her band, Reigning Jane, which is the band for Jason Mraz. They've been traveling worldwide for the past couple years. She also is the percussionist for the famous Iranian singer, Ebi. So, man, I don't think there's a corner of the globe she hasn't been. Antarctica, even. Mona is part of this amazing band, Reigning Jane, and they're all superstars in their own right. But when I saw Mona, I was like, man, she's the kind of drummer that her personality comes through from drums, and she sings, and she plays with such passion. She's the kind of drummer in the vein of like an Anderson .Paak, where you can't keep her on the drum set. You gotta know more about her. You gotta know more about what makes her heart beat. That's a drummer term. She's one of my favorite people in the world, and I'm so excited to introduce you to her, or to give you another side of her that you may not have known if you already know her. So, ladies and gentlemen, Podcast the Musical presents Mona Tavakoli.
I know a girl named Mona. She's that girl, thumping that cajon drum all around the world, rhythm controller with the bouncing curls. Ain't no crowd that stand around, 'cause she always turns them out. She don't need no sticks when she hits, kicks it with the palms and fists. Boxing that box till the whole place rocks. Damn, she don't ever miss, no. Mona.
Thanks for the coffee. Eric doesn't drink coffee, and you made this for me, and it's...
I drink coffee, remember? Remember when I drank coffee at your house?
This is so good, Eric.
Is it?
Delicious.
It's not good.
Dude, it's brown, and it's caffeinated, and I'm very happy.
It's not that good. Well,
if I refrain from answering, the mystery
it's okay.
will always...
It's not going to hurt my feelings because...
No, it's good. It's good.
Okay, it's not great. It's not like when I went to your house
Yeah.
and had a cup of coffee.
That changed your life?
Yeah, because it made me break my foot.
Yeah,
remember
we
that?
don't need to talk about the intimacies of our coffee experience, you know?
Okay, you guys made me this coffee that was so good, and I don't really drink coffee, so it was like some people say mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It was foot-breaking.
Oh my God.
It was some foot-breaking coffee. So what happened was it was like a super high powered
Cappuccino
latte.
or something. Yeah.
And I was just wired the whole day. And I was on this running kick. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go run. And I started running. I felt so good. And there was no end to my energy. I went out running at night. And I ended up breaking my foot because I just got too overzealous.
That is so upsetting to me that I gave you a coffee and then... Well, I love that it like motivated you and inspired you to go for a run, and then you break your foot, and now I have this looming guilt. And then I made you make me coffee today. Like, what?
Just to rub it in. Hey, remember that? I know why you did it. It was very passive aggressive.
I'm sorry, buddy.
No, you were like, hey,
really
remember our last experience with coffee? Yeah, sure you do, because you were 6 weeks in a cast.
Oh my god!
And then
You had that little like
learn
trolley.
Yeah, I had the trolley. I had the scooter.
Oh my god.
No, but you know what I learned? I mean, this doesn't sound really like transformational BS, but I actually learned a lot from breaking my foot.
You're like the nicest person. I don't... Really? You want to tell me about...
Why? What did I learn from breaking my foot?
Yes.
Well, I learned not to take physicality for granted. And I also learned how to run better because of it, because I had to do all these strengthening exercises to rehab. And then I just learned how to, like, you know, how I should be positioning myself better, foot exercises, leg exercises I should be doing that I wasn't doing, and maybe had a part to do with why I broke my foot so easily, because I rolled my ankle, but it was, you know, it kept going because maybe my ankles weren't so strong.
Oh.
So, you know.
That simultaneously makes me so sad, but also like maybe I did you a favor. It kind of sounds like
you did. No, and I had been listening to this guy David Goggins, who's like super Navy SEAL ultra marathoner.
Yeah,
and he like talks about like even when you get injured or you know whatever happens, you have to dig deeper and go, okay, it's not gonna stop me. He has a book called Can't Hurt Me.
Amazing.
And it was kind of, you know, motivating. It was motivating to break my foot. It was really weird. It was very inconvenient, but it was at the same time motivating. But I'm glad that you came in. Now as you came in, I said you were my first podcast guest. I don't know if we're going to release this one first.
Okay.
But you are the first person that I wanted to talk to.
Eric.
But you know why? Because you are somebody that is super easy for me to talk to.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I was like, who do I really enjoy talking to? And also you were available the earliest. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Moated, corroded, my big butt exploded. I'm so glad I was available, and I'm really honored that, well, I love being your friend, and I love talking to you, so yay.
Well, let me just tell you, and I want to do this with all my guests.
Yeah.
And so I want to just start off by telling you why I like you.
Oh.
Why I love you, really.
That's sweet.
Yeah, because I don't even know what this podcast is going to be about.
You told me close to nothing. You're like, come
Okay.
over and there'll be another guy here filming.
Yeah,
and I'm
I
like,
don't
okay, Eric.
I don't even want to tell you what it's going to be about.
Okay,
it's going to be
that's
so
fine.
much surprise and so much like, this is not just a podcast. You'll see. It's going to evolve. This
Surprise and delight me. Let's
It's going
go.
to be good. I don't even want to tell you what the podcast is going to be. But the reason that I love you is when I first discovered you, I went to a performance of Raining Jane, your band, your mega awesome woman band.
Thanks.
And I walked into the Stronghold in Venice. Okay?
Yep.
And I saw you guys playing. I'm like, who's the drummer?
Really?
Which you don't really say when you watch a band. And that really struck me. But I'd never seen somebody play with so much passion.
Wow.
And it was just like radiating out of you. And the reason I love you is because everything that you do has that in it. Whether it's just being somebody's friend or, making a coffee. I felt that one, You make a coffee to the point where you really put your heart into it.
I'm literally crying, Eric. That's
Really?
so nice. Thank you. I'm sorry I broke your foot, but also thank you for the nice words.
No, you really put joy into everything. And I look at your life and it makes me want to be like you.
What the hell is going on? I don't want to be sobbing at a podcast.
No, I'm just telling you this is what I'm just filling you with what I'm coming from the heart because I really
feel
do.
it.
That's why I love you.
Thank you.
So, but and your reaction now? Your reaction? We're going to watch it? What's your reaction to that? It's the first segment of my first podcast. I should be saying things to make you laugh, but instead I get all sentimental down in my soul. And I made you cry from the feelings that I got in my heart. I made you cry, no hesitation, did it right from the start. I made you cry, you felt forced to reciprocate. Awkwardness poured through the floodgates, and I made you cry.
I'm so touched by that. I am so inspired by you and your work ethic and the love that you infuse in everything too. I feel so seen by you, and I hope that you know how much I admire you.
Aw, come on. I didn't do that to have you come back to me with the same
that
thing.
might need to be a second.
Yeah, that's true. And now, what do you say about me? What do you love me?
You invited me to hang, but to my surprise it was a soul-bearing session in disguise. But you don't know that I feel the same about you.
Seriously? Now you made me cry with the feelings that I got in my heart. I made you cry. You complete me when you fall completely apart. I made you cry.
Let's go sailing away on a perfect sailing ride.
I made you cry.
It's 99.1% love and 0.9% sodium chloride.
When I told you how I felt about you, I'm glad you understand.
Well.
'Cause I love you from the bottom of my lacrimal gland.
What does that mean?
I made you cry. So sorry, girl. I made you cry. You made me cry. It's all in love. I made you cry. You told me making it over. I made you cry. No, but you are, and anyone who knows you knows that you are super talented. You got started with, you're known for drums, but that wasn't your first foray into entertainment.
Entertainment.
What got you into entertaining people, or how did you start with this? I mean, your family comes from Iran.
Totally, yeah.
Which is maybe not known for its entertainment. So
Iranians are very entertaining. Iranians are poets and artists and craftsmen, and
True.
My culture is so deep and beautiful. But I think when my parents came to this country, they thought they were just going to come here, study, and go back to Iran. But one part of Persian culture that's super fun is called bezan o berakhs, which is like hit it and dance. So once you get to the mehmuni, which is like a Persian party, you hit the music in some sort of 6/8, which is a nice rolling rhythm.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
you could picture all the hips a moving and a swaying.
Whenever I try to do, because I'm so accustomed to 4/4 music.
Yeah.
I've never been able to get another format of music. I've never really formally studied music, so it's the that's a 6/8.
Listen,
got it. You
your
taught me
people
something.
also.
I mean, Israel and Iran, they've been known to border each other.
Right, I've heard about that border.
Yeah.
And
do they border each other? I don't even know.
I mean, just
they're close enough.
Soulfully bordered. Yeah. So there's a lot of dancing growing up in my family. Anytime there was a party at our parents' house or any Persian person's house, it always ended with a dance party in the living room and just putting on loud music and just doing Persian ghair. Ghair is moving your hips and doing the hands. Yeah, good job.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Moving your hips and
doing the little hand thing.
This thing?
Yeah.
Change the light bulb thing?
Yeah, change the light bulb, I think, goes along a lot of brown cultures.
Well, yeah, India,
Bhangra.
Bollywood.
Yep, totes.
Bhangra.
Yeah.
So it's called Hit It and Dance?
Bezano Berachs.
Bezano Berachs.
Nice. Good.
Well, you know what? In preparation for this podcast, I listened to a little bit of Ebby.
You did?
Yes.
Isn't he the cutest?
I heard him.
Oh, yeah.
I've
Did you
seen-
feel
and
cuteness?
yes,
or no?
I felt like yes. But when I listened to it, I was like, is he speaking Hebrew?
Oh.
Because a lot of the
Farsi sound.
words are very similar. Like it always blows my mind that Arabs and Israelis or whoever it may be in the Middle East fight because their cultures are so similar.
Totally.
Salam, shalom. It's like they've got pretty much the same words. They all, Mediterranean food is all so similar.
Yeah.
With the hummus and all that stuff. So, Bezano Berach is
Berachs, yeah.
Berachs.
Yeah, that's just like a term we use to like hit it and dance.
It sounds like a James Brown type of thing.
Dude, we should write that song.
Really?
Yeah.
Bezano Berachs?
Yeah.
All right. As a James Brown type of...
Yes, Persian song.
Okay. James Brown Persian.
Hit the beat and dance.
Music is so good for me. Music خیلی آهنگ شخصیه با
Hit the beat and dance.
Persian khair. Moving your hips.
Dance.
I just wanted to say that Ebby, just for those of us that don't know who he is, he's a Persian pop legend.
Right.
And I started playing with him about 3 years ago, playing percussion for him. So that's my foray into Iranian music.
Now, your parents must have flipped out because he's like, I mean, if you could equate him to somebody that in American culture, would he be like a Cat Stevens or like a James Taylor?
No, he's like the Frank Sinatra or something, meaning, or who's like an artist who's carried many genres, but I don't know, like Sting, which I guess
Yeah.
he's English, but he's done all the genres, but he is beloved. Like he is so kind and warm and a great role model for Iranian people. So kind. He's just and he's been doing it for 50 years.
He's kind of like a Jason Mraz, maybe?
I swear to you, it is bananas. The similarities. I mean, in terms of just soul purpose and
Yeah. I think that's what you project as well. And it's kind of like you didn't really try to attract those things. That's the other thing that I love about you is that you just start from whatever it is inside of you, whatever you say, the heart or wherever it comes from. And you just admit, and these things that like totally match you sort of glom onto you or magnetize to you.
yeah.
And you're magnetizing to them because
Yeah.
it's a like particles are attracting type of
Law
thing.
of attraction.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch that. And because I know in myself, like I'm the kind of person who's like, okay, I got to get out there. I got to fight for it. I got to be the person, the go-getter, the what do they call that? The
Initiator,
ambition, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's like it works against you when you seem too needy, too thirsty, as I say. Right? You ever hear that term?
I sure have heard it.
And I think that I've probably done more than my share of that type of behavior,
But
So-
your work ethic is like stunning. Like I really see you as somebody who is you're so diverse in your interests and skill set that you can go in any direction, really chase it, really do the work, and you're going to be successful because that's how you roll.
You know what? I think that's why that guy David Goggins I was telling you about he kind of appeals to me because he's like, once you feel like you're in that pain, you got to dig even deeper. Most people they only tap into 40% of their potential. Like you can get to 60, you can get to 80. So maybe I'm just like a glutton for punishment. I came up through like really hard swimming workouts and water polo and all that kind of stuff.
Like the teams and stuff.
Yeah,
in high school?
And we worked out hard.
Did you ever have to wear a swim cap?
Oh, a swim cap.
Because
I'm wearing one permanently right now. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying I'm wearing a permanent swim cap? You know what? I still wear a swim cap. You know why? The sun.
Oh my God.
Not all of us were blessed with hair that you could cut an hour ago and it grows back to this beautiful locks that you have.
No, but this is a real question. I know you had to wear a Speedo. I don't want to think about it too much, but also
go ahead. But yeah.
Did you ever? You had to, right? Because of the
yeah.
sun.
Well, some yeah. So I'll just put it this way: the first time I ever shaved was my legs.
Oh, dang!
Because I was 12.
That's
13.
a great quote. That's
Yeah.
a great quote.
First time I ever shaved was my legs.
Eric Schwartz.
I'm shaving just like mommy did. But so what was your background like? Because I came from, I came from sports and all that kind of stuff, but also a creative background of music with my stepfather and stuff like that. But you came from, I know something about you that you did.
Yeah.
That I don't know if you would say it does and doesn't fit your personality, but beauty pageants.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know all my secrets. My parents put me in beauty pageants when I was like 7 and 8 years old because they thought I was so beautiful.
I mean, they weren't wrong.
LOL. Let's roll the tape. Do you have it? It's like I had this like beautiful flowing mustache and one eyebrow, and I had sparkly eyes, I guess, and I was a nice kid. But they're like, let's put her in beauty pageants. She could win. And I was like, yes, that sounds great. And then I would go to these things and they put makeup on me and like straighten my hair and put me in a bathing suit, which roll the tape.
And you were how old?
I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah, I know.
But my parents didn't know. They thought it was like an American cultural experience.
I mean, and back then it was a little bit more accepted. Like now you go and put my 7-year-old in a swimsuit and put her on stage.
It's so weird.
It's a little weird.
I mean, they put my brother in like Little League and soccer and Boy Scouts. Mm-hmm. And then they put me in like gymnastics and tennis and ice skating and beauty pageants. But anyway, clearly I wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. So my mom taught me how to Persian dance. And I use these little like metal finger cymbals. Oh. So that was sort of like my first percussion.
Would you still have them? The little finger cymbals?
I totally do.
You do?
Yeah.
Can they fit on your fingers anymore?
You know what? I wonder. I've never really like played them again. I just have like left them as a museum piece. But yeah, I should play them.
We want to. We brought you this sash that we want you to put on.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Mistaken.
Miss San Jose. You're from San Jose.
Little Miss San Jose.
Little Miss San Jose. Were you in? Yeah. What were some of the names of the competitions you were in?
Oh my gosh. I honestly, there's like a couple of them that we did, but there was like the state championships, the city champion, and like a national one. Mm-hmm. But I would never win for beauty. I would always win for talent. And honestly, I think psychologically that affected my whole approach to stuff because I was never trying to be like a beautiful, blue-eyed, blonde white girl who was winning all the beauty category. But somehow I was winning the talent because I was doing this Persian dance. And I was real spirited and I'd jing, jing, jigga, jing, jing, my little cymbals. And I would win for talent. And I was like, oh, maybe that's where the heat is, like as a kid, So then I got really interested in drums, and that sort of led me down a totally different path.
And then you kind of like went through school. Was it pretty diverse where you were in San Jose? Now I know now San Jose is one of the most diverse places in the world. But
totally.
Was it the same way when you were growing up?
Yeah, I think like where we lived was like mostly white, black. Yeah, it was diverse. Black, white, Mexican, and then there was like 2 Persian people.
Okay.
And then the other Persian person became my best friend.
Oh, okay.
Susan Peyrovi.
Oh, well, shout out to Susan. Shout out to Susan. And
She's
then,
the best.
But in school, were you popular? Were you?
I wouldn't say popular. I would say I was like kind of like hung out with yard duties.
Oh,
and
yard
stuff.
duties. You know what?
I don't know what that was
Unsung
about.
heroes.
Yeah, I loved talking to the lunch ladies and the yard duties and the teachers. I just loved getting their insight. But I had friends. I totally had friends like Jenny and Laura Starks. They were twins, and I loved them. And then junior high, I met Susan, and she totally changed my whole experience because she was so cool, and she was the first person I credit for telling me I was awesome, and that totally changed my experience because I was like, oh, if she thinks I'm awesome, maybe I'm awesome.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it feels so nice when people are nice to you. Oh my gosh, I should be a nicer person. And I just
Susan?
Susan, she's the bomb.
And you still keep in touch with her?
Oh my gosh, besties for life.
Really?
Yeah, she went to UCLA.
That's right. And you went to UCLA.
Yeah.
That's where like a lot of stuff happened for you, right? So you were like growing up in high school, you were like ASB and like, very spirited.
Yeah.
And
I loved high school too. Leland High School.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I see people, you never meet people that like love high school. I loved high school.
Yeah.
You know, like people I think associate a lot of pain with high school.
Totally.
But you loved it. You learned a lot. You had good teachers. I
had great teachers. I had amazing friends. I fell into this really awesome group of girls that were totally nerdy and loved school, but also loved being involved. And so I had a really great group of friends that worked hard and were involved in school.
And you were already into music, right? You were in the band?
Yeah, and then I joined the
band?
marching band for the first time. And I was just drama, speech and debate, basketball. I was just loved it.
All creative and also with basketball. I mean, I think sports to a certain degree, you have to be creative. You have to think creatively, especially in a team sport like that, like basketball.
Yeah.
You have to, you're getting yourself out of a jam all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of like, you're strategizing.
Totally.
You're reading body language in a way, right? You're reading people. You're
light
using
jogging.
psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love team. I love being on a team. So basketball was like a perfect sport for me. Like tennis felt really like it's just me and this racket and the other person. But basketball felt like I could, with my team, make a basket. If I made a really good pass, that could contribute to 2 points or whatever. It just was really, I loved it.
Yeah, I see. That's interesting. Team sport versus personal sport.
Yeah, like ice skating or tennis, or gymnastics even.
Yeah, it seemed like I've always seemed to be into just solo.
Yeah.
I mean, I did play water polo, and that was team. And then I was always on the swim team, but I was the leader of the swim team. So I was definitely into team.
Yeah.
But I felt like, I mean, now I run and I do like just personal stuff, but like it's like in your adult life, you don't really. It's hard to get on a team like that, a sports team.
Totally.
I don't know.
Well, there's like
people.
kickball leagues in LA.
Are there? Kickball leagues?
I'm just,
Maybe I can go pro.
Dude, get a sweet headband and get out there.
That would be good. Pro kickball?
Yeah.
They should, you know what? That would be something that's not pro.
Yeah.
But then they turned it into like personalities and stuff. That would be, actually, I think that could be a show. Right? Kickball?
Trademark it right now.
But just because the personalities that play kickball, they would be like any personality.
Yeah.
And
would be enjoyable.
Right.
Yeah.
You could do it like a reality show on that. Kickball league. I think so.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah. I would just see like guys in like old 70s shirts or something. It's like a bowling league or like, where they're not even in shape, but they are really good at kickball.
Yeah. Strong calf muscles required.
Yeah. You get some big ass calves that look like turkey legs. And kickball.
Like a
league.
Renaissance fair turkey leg, just loose.
Have you ever had one of those?
I haven't, but I'm so excited that they exist. I love
Yeah.
that you could just get it and walk around. I mean, I don't think I'd like to eat it, but
I went to Disneyland once, and then I was
They
so
have them
hungry.
there?
Yes. I went to Disneyland. They had this turkey leg, and I was so hungry. I hadn't eaten all day. I was meeting up with like my mom or something like that, or maybe it was my brother and my niece. And I get this turkey leg. I'm like, oh, that looks so good. I'm just going to eat protein because I want to keep my muscles shredded. I start eating this thing. The first bite, I was like, yeah, I'm a man. I'm eating an animal's leg. Then like 4 bites in, I'm like, this is disgusting.
oh no.
It was so salty.
It was like $18.95 probably.
Yeah, it was really expensive, and it was so salty. And like, I'm like, is this even cooked?
Oh no.
Yeah, it was bad. I couldn't.
It
eat
can't be real. That's what goes through my mind. Like, how can that massive? Anyway,
Yeah, no, turkey players are like stocky ass birds. They're just like playing soccer, you know. They
Cute.
got, you know, they're like, those new butt implants that a lot of people are getting.
hot topic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's turkeys got that naturally. And centaurs. Centaurs. I think a lot of women want to look like centaurs. I'm looking at some of these butts. They got centaur butt.
Oh my God, it's a new day. I never in my life thought women would get butt implants. Like, I never thought that. And now I'm like, that can't be real.
And now that I even know about them, I don't even think I see them. But then when I actually see real ones, I'm like, when I see some implants, I'm like, that looks ridiculous. Can you get them tastefully, like that actually look natural?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my feeling is also like, what does it feel like to sit on it?
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't really enjoy it much unless you're turned around all the time.
Like breasts, I can see they're not really high traffic. But your butt is like you're using it all the time.
I know. I'm always seated. Like for my job, I sit down. And I play music, and I don't know. I
The
feel
more
like
you
is it
sit,
going to get
does-
in my way?
Did they? I mean, for your job, you sit on a
Wooden box.
Wooden box.
Yeah.
And that would affect the acoustics.
100% it would affect the acoustics. It would dampen the tone.
It really would. I mean, you're putting more. It's like that's why we put soundproofing on walls.
Right.
Is to deaden the sound so it
Yeah.
doesn't echo.
Exactly.
You would have to really hit harder.
I'm glad we talked about it because now I know it's a non-negotiable. I cannot.
We should simulate that. We should have you sit on the
Yeah.
cajon.
And we'll put a couple implants in
Yeah,
me.
some pillows because
Great
we don't want
idea.
to really actually put
Right,
implants.
yeah.
We'll put some pillows and see what the difference in the sound is.
Okay, I think we should.
You want to try that?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, let me get some pillows.
do we that now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Amazing. Okay, let's get to simulating butt implants.
Pillows.
Okay.
You take a seat. I'll grab you some pillows.
Want to do a sound test?
Yeah, we're gonna use hand towels. And I got some that I usually sit on, so don't worry about it. These are my sitting towels. All right, so
So let's play it without any butt implants.
So-
Simulated.
okay, I'm gonna kind of shoot this. Should we shoot it at the drum here?
That's good.
Okay.
But
that's
I do
probably
want to
good.
say that this is a test of a untouched, natural Persian bouquet. Here we go.
Natural butt. Take one.
Natural butt.
We got Peter on the camera.
Trying not to get too close.
Dude, how quickly has this escalated? You've come in 20 minutes, and right now we're testing your butt resonance on the. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Now.
That sounds. What's the word? The Persian term again? The shut up and dance.
Oh,
Bizano berachs.
Okay. I mean, you guys have to turn around, maybe.
That was Bizano beras. Okay. Okay. Now we're turning.
Can you do that, really?
So
Okay, guys, what do you think?
Yeah, that definitely looks. That looks like you got butt implants for sure.
Hold on.
That definitely looks butt implant perfect. I even feel bad looking. It definitely looks like.
Great.
Okay.
So let's sit down here.
Okay.
These are very nice. I mean,
The towels?
yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
high quality. No, it's even harder for you to just even reach
Yep.
the box.
Yep. I have one.
This is what it might sound like
Oh God. I really wonder
if you had
it's gonna-
implants.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
It's rattling the place, setting pacemakers on pace. Make your edges get your rays from the bass. Knocking fish right out of lakes. Knock your mustache off your face. Knock the food right out your ways from the
Explosion, seismic motion, causing commotion. With the goal to split the whole west coast into ocean. I think we just did it with the tone and the spitting. While Mona sitting on the cajon, kicking down and hitting on the rhythm. If you want it'll take your vitamins or your vitamins. Exciting with fast raps to distract you from that boom. That low frequency that go creepy right up through your feet and smacks out your teeth.
You got calcium to take, cause your back is gonna break. No chiropractic can save you from the making time zones rearrange. Shaking milk into milkshakes. Tattoo artists make mistakes, cause the
Well,
Well, it was a good experiment.
great science. The data proves that anybody can do anything they want with their butt and still get great sound on the empty box.
True.
Trademark.
Now, when you say, is this supposed to have like a double meaning? You say MT and it sounds like empty as well?
Yeah, dog.
It's supposed to be like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was on
It's the world's greatest. Because it's an empty box.
It's an empty box and you create what you fill in it. Fill it in.
Wow.
Is that why?
Wow.
I'm just getting it. I've
Hello.
known about this
Yeah.
box for
Yeah.
years.
You
couple
just
years.
are putting that
And
together?
I'm just getting it.
Wow.
Sometimes it takes
So-
a while. I'm so focused on that it means Mona Tavakoli that I didn't get the empty part.
I think your swim cap's on too tight.
It probably is.
The,
All right.
the cajon is like a ancient, beautiful box drum that comes from Cuba and Peru.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to me from the flamenco lineage, which Paco de Lucia took it to Spain
Mm-hmm.
and started using it in flamenco. And then when I was at UCLA, I took a flamenco dance class, and the cajon, my teacher brought it for me to play, and I got to accompany the dancers that way. So it's such a beautiful, versatile instrument with so much history.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so lucky that I get to play it, and I have a signature model that I designed the specifications of, but
And you would never disrespect it by playing it with butt implants.
I would. I feel like that might come to bite me in the
ass. No, we're just playing around. It is a beautiful box, and what I love about it is a whole drum set in that you can sit on, and you just so portable.
Yeah.
It's very, but it also for you has played a huge role in your life
Totally.
because from that flamenco session came some ladies saw you playing that,
Yeah.
and they offered you a gig, right? Am I right?
A lady saw me?
Two ladies that asked you
Oh.
to play in their band.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my gosh, you're going way back to like Raining Jane. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Raining Jane still exists,
It sure does. Yeah.
right? So,
But that is the beginning of how I met the girls in my band.
right.
And those two women no longer are in the band. But they saw me play the cajon at a UCLA flamenco recital, and they found me in the dorms, and they're like, "Do you also play drum set?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." Like, "We're putting together a girl band. Do you want to be in it?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." I had no idea who they were or what they were doing, but I just knew I wanted to play music. And I loved that they were like going to create something out of nothing.
That's so cool.
Jessica and Amy, shout out.
Yeah, Jessica and Amy, and the band was originally called Chrysalis.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
I did a lot of research on you.
I love you.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. I got you. I got you. I got your story. But so then it became Chrysalis, and you played with them. But then how did it become Raining Jane? Who thought of that? Because nobody was named Jane.
Nobody was named Jane, but eventually the band morphed into Chaska, Becky, Mai, and I. And we wanted to rename it because Chrysalis was actually the name of a publishing company, and we didn't want to run into any problems down the
Right.
line.
I remember that.
Because we were like, we're going to be so successful. Oh my God, it was so funny. So that was 20 years ago.
They were a label, Chrysalis.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it was a publishing company and maybe even a record label.
Yeah, I have some 45s.
Oh, really?
Yes, downstairs in my garage
How cool.
that have Chrysalis. I want to say David Bowie was on it or something, or like I feel like I have Let's Dance, the single, and it's on.
It was put out by Chrysalis?
I want to say it was Chrysalis. Yeah.
Wow, so cool.
But so one thing that I wanted to ask you about, because this is kind of this is when we first met, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember how we first met?
I remember that we were at some event at the Roxy once, and we like totally hung out and like talked, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit.
That was
farther down.
later,
That was like when we
right?
really started to talk.
Okay.
Like we really kind of became friends there.
Yeah.
I think that was after Jason's show at the Hollywood Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And then with Billy and Jason, and they invited me to come up on stage and do a rap. And then it was like a jam session after his show at the Hollywood Bowl.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and this
Yes.
was like after, this was at the like when We Sing, We Dance, We Steal Things was really hitting hard, and then he did the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
That
show was so amazing.
That was so fun.
Oh
It
my
was a really
gosh.
fun show. And then it was like the after party. That was such a fun night. It was like, I feel like that was like, for me, was like when, like there's a community,
Yeah.
right? That I kind of associate kind of coming with Jason and Billy, and it's you guys, and it's because I met Jason and Billy first, and so I through them have met so many cool people like you guys and the Make Peace Brothers and
Yeah.
Cafe Gratitude and John Morrow and all these
Yes.
people, but I felt like that was like the beginning of me being introduced to all of you guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I think the first time that we met was probably NACA.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And-
like 2004, dude.
Yeah. Was it 2000? Yeah, it must have been
It was like
2004,
way
2005.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raining Jane, we like were independent, setting up our own booth,
Yeah.
and trying to get college gigs.
So for anyone who's a comedian or artist who's ever tried to do the college market, you know what NACA is. And the way that you guys did it is like no other artist I've ever heard about. Like
Yeah.
never heard anyone do it this way. And it blew my mind to hear how you did it. But why don't you say?
Yeah, we were a band and everybody had like jobs, and I kept trying to figure out like, how do we do this full time? Like, how can we be just artists? How can we just be a band? And somebody had mentioned NACA to me, my friend Eric Fraley that had done it before. It's like, oh, you guys would kill there. They're always looking for diverse acts.
And
with
NACA is the National Association of
campus activities.
Campus activities.
Yeah.
Okay. And what it is, so just so you, if you have a little background, watch Pete Holmes' Crashing. He has an episode on it. He hits it like perfectly.
He nails
it.
NACA. I mean,
Yeah.
it was perfect.
Yeah, and it's an organization that's kind of like the go-between between the college buyers, which are like activities directors and students who are in the student
Programming,
government, the
yeah.
programming that they bring acts to school, and the artist. And artists usually have an agent that like kind of serve as the go-between between them and the buyers. The artists will pay to showcase at these NACA showcases to be seen. And basically, they're advertising themselves and in hopes of
Getting booked.
on a
Right.
bunch of colleges. Right.
But let's say like 400 acts
Mm-hmm.
apply to do a showcase, but there's only 15 spots.
Right.
It's something like that.
yeah.
The disparity is like huge.
So you guys didn't have an agent, but
We
you're
didn't
like,
have an agent, and we just came in by ourselves, and we're like, no one's going to market us the way we're going to market ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
So we have really talented people in the band that know how to do graphic design and know how to I don't know. I was an economics major. I was like, I could make a spreadsheet and, deal with contracts or whatever. And
right.
every person in the band had their lane of like assignments of how to take this business to the next level. But we applied our first year to NACA West. So there's the different regions,
Right.
and then there's a national conference. And we thought, okay, we're going to make this big investment. We're going to spend thousands of dollars on the membership and the travel and the hotel and conference fees and everything. And we may not even get a showcase, but we did it, and we got a roving showcase Do you remember the roving?
So you play like
in the hallway.
buskers or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
you busk. So there's no sound, and you just like play your instruments, or you're a comedian, or you're a magician, or whatever. And so we did it with our whole hearts. We like set up our booth, designed it really beautifully, and I brought the cajon to the booth and let people play the cajon, and nobody knew who we were. We were just like this indie band out of LA, like playing Genghis Cohen and Temple Bar and like all these little spots. But every time the students would come out of a showcase, we would be right by the door, ready to play our folk rock for them, ready to harmonize them to sleep. But we worked really hard that day, and we made great connections and great relationships. And by the end of that day, they do like a buying session for the acts, and they have something called block buying. Do you ever do that, where it's like if 3 schools buy you in the same area, they get a discount because you don't have to travel to.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
block booking, block buying. Yeah.
For our first conference, we were the most booked act.
Which is, you were the most booked act of
the whole conference.
Not just like the Rovers, not just the musicians.
Yeah.
But you beat all the comedians, all the everybody.
Yeah.
Which that is amazing, because usually the roving act might be something like kind of like, hey, oh, you guys can do a showcase too. It's not a main stage.
No.
It's not even a second stage. It's like, find your own stage.
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
Yeah,
that's what that spot is.
We're not going to announce any of your shows. You're just going to have to attract your audience, and
But
that's amazing.
It was the greatest gift.
booked.
Yeah, it was the greatest gift because we had a whole day instead of just 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we could prove ourselves all day long that we have the energy and the enthusiasm and the commitment. Like, we really want to play for you, and we want to play for your students, and we promise we'll get their attention, even if we have no sound, and even if we have, no amplification, no lights, no anything. And they were like, what? Like, we could bring these girls and put them in a hallway, and they'll entertain our students. And guess what? That whole year we played in a lot of hallways.
That's what people don't realize. The glamorous life of an entertainer that you imagine is not always the case.
Oh my God.
I've played some, especially colleges.
Yeah.
College gigs, for some reason, they think comedy or music can work anywhere.
Yeah.
We just put them on there.
Oh my goodness.
I've done some. I did this Yakima Valley College, and it was outdoor barbecue.
Yeah.
Number one, during the day,
Yeah.
outdoors, 2 strikes against you. I get in and I go, okay, as long as I have a sound system, because I do musical stuff.
Right.
Like, if you have a sound system where I can plug in my my iPad
Yeah.
and my auto-tune microphone or whatever it was, I'll be fine. They go, yeah, we got everything. So I get there.
I can't wait.
It was the smallest guitar amp you could imagine. Like literally,
a practice amp?
Like, yeah, practice amp. Smaller than a 12, like, here's an album, right?
Yeah.
Here's Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh, amazing.
Like, look how that smaller, it's like probably as big as this.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's the smallest thing you could even imagine, like a little practice amp. And they go, yeah, you can plug in this thing here and this thing there. It sounded like shit. Everything was like distorting. I'm outdoors, so there's no way the sound's going to be like hitting anybody.
Yeah.
It's like I just did the show with no amplification, and I yelled the show to this like patio. There's like right in front of the parking lot. There's cars going by. But you know what's weird? Even despite all that, if the audience wants it,
Yeah.
you're going to have a good show.
Totally.
And you had good shows. And what are some of the
We
like
had-
crazy places that you played?
We had so many great shows, but I think the greatest gift was that it gave us the freedom to really tour and get our show together. Really, like we were playing like 150 shows a year, and we would just get in our van, pack our own trailer. We learned how to work as a team. We learned how to load and unload. We learned how to run our own sound when we needed to. When we could afford it, we hired a sound guy that became our 5th member. We learned how to entertain people, whether or not they wanted it. I mean, you
Yeah.
just had to learn what worked. We got to, meet so many cool people. We got to see the country. there were so many gifts, and it gave us the opportunity to like tour, like become full-time musicians.
You know, something that I noticed about you, and I mean, this is going to sound so obvious, but you really are somebody who focuses on the positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people could get down on that kind of situation. We're like, oh, we gotta do our own sound. You were like, I get to do my own sound.
Well, it wasn't all sunshine and bubbles, you know, for
Right.
sure. But I feel like it was a real gift. I can't believe that journey we got to experience.
You
us
were like
four.
the agent, like
I
you
was the
booked,
agent. I was.
which is amazing. Like that, I don't know of any other act that's done colleges like you guys did.
Yeah.
That you one of you was a graphic designer. Was that Mai?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's still our graphic designer.
Oh, really?
She's still busting it for rock and roll camp for girls and for Raining Jane.
That's another thing I
Yeah.
want. This is another amazing thing that you do is rock and roll camp for girls.
Yeah.
It makes me wish I were a girl. Like, to be honest with you, it's such a cool. I mean, I don't need all the other stuff, like
Yeah, I get it.
like ovulation and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you guys can have that part.
Thank
but,
you so much.
But yeah, I love what you guys do. Rock and roll camp for girls.
Thank you.
It's every summer, and
It's every summer.
you founded it, right?
Yeah, it's a nonprofit social justice organization dedicated to empowering girls through music. So it's a beautiful community, and this is our 10th year of doing Rock Camp, and it's our 20th year of doing Raining Jane, and it's such a beautiful collection of women, and there's some men too that are involved.
Oh,
but
okay,
that
then I could be a guy then. Okay.
you totally
Right.
you'll be taking out the trash, but I think
Okay,
that's
perfect.
fine.
That's fine.
You've been working out. I really
Fine.
believe you
I'm
can
there for
lift.
support.
Thank you. That's it. There's
Yeah.
actually, that's all it is if you want to be at Rock Camp, we want you to be at Rock Camp. If you want to hold space for girls to feel good about themselves, if you want to be in a space where you're supporting everybody, then please come. Please come and witness what's happening and be a part of it. The heart and soul of the camp are the volunteers, and the heart and soul is like mentorship. It's about women coming and supporting each other to be their best selves. And we do it with this tangible thing of learn how to write a song with girls maybe you know or don't know. And then they get to perform that song at the Troubadour or whatever, wherever the venue is that we get that summer. But it's such a cool space because the intention is to be supportive and collaborative and feel good and take a big old risk and see what it feels like.
So now that you've done it for a few years, I'll just, the Laugh Factory does a comedy camp for kids, right? Tiffany Haddish came from that camp.
Oh my gosh.
And a few others I can't remember, but she's the one that I remember. But have you now seen people that you've had in your camp flourish and like go into music or have success in some other field?
Totally. Yes. Now our camp has been happening for 10 years. So now there's this like the campers then became volunteers in training, which
Okay.
are like, intern, basically like a camp intern.
Yeah.
And then they're now volunteers. So
Oh,
campers
cool.
have done the whole chain essentially. And there's so many beautiful, thriving girls that keep coming back to camp or have been to camp a couple of times and are now in a band that tours or now have work for companies like Live Nation. Like
cool.
we have so many rad girls and women that either have attended camp or are volunteering at camp. It's a real hub of positive, collaborative energy.
That's so cool. What do you? I want to ask you about your creative process. Like, what? I heard another interview with you where you were like, this project had the fire for me, or it had the electricity for me. So what do you look for, or what do you, how do you know when a project or when pursuing something makes sense to you? Like, what do you look for in your creative process?
That's a really good question. I mean, first of all, yes, if there's heat there, I want to chase the electricity. Like I want to follow the electricity because I know that at least there's curiosity there.
Okay.
There's something to uncover. And that makes it like a discovery process that even if it doesn't go anywhere, at least I've attempted to see what it's about. I really like doing things that feel in the direction of, how can I describe it? Yeah, I mean, heat and electricity is the right. All the things that I do are in the same direction of teamwork, collaboration, joy, connection, laughter, and feeling really like myself. So in Raining Jane, I feel like it's joyful, it's connection, it's sharing. And then at Rock Camp, it's the same. It's like creating a space for a lot of people to do that at once.
Yeah.
And music is the same thing. It's like I get to go and like be expressive and share expression and also receive that from other people. Like it's not a one-sided thing.
Right.
We got to do a project together, the Gift Wrappers thing.
Gift Wrappers. We did I kicked your mic. The Gift Wrappers. Yes, we did a comedy video for Christmas.
Yeah.
And we wrapped your MT box.
Yes.
As like a gift.
I mean, I've gotten so much amazing feedback from that video.
Nice.
Because it's lighthearted, it's funny, it's teamwork, it's entertainment, it's sharing, connection, it's all of it. I loved it. So that was like an absolute yes.
We're the Gift Wrappers. Christmas doesn't happen without our wrapping. We take your crap and wrap it up in a packet. Gift Wrappers. Got this paper on swag, son. Making that gift look oh so handsome. You charge up your pieces for your nephews and your nieces. We rip, tip your pieces and smooth out the creases. You think you can beat us? Your reasoning's facetious. We're endorsed by Santa and even by Jesus. Ribbons and bows, bows and ribbons. We got pressure on us making difficult decisions. You're sitting in your kitchen like, how much ribbon? Well, we got 50 gifts wrapped to precision. We're the Gift Wrappers. Christmas doesn't happen without our wrapping. We take your crap and wrap it up in a packet. Gift Wrappers. Got this paper on swag, son. Making that gift look oh so handsome. We like to scissor. We like to scissor. We like to scissor. We like to scissor. Wrap anything, liquid, solid, or gases. Wrapped your gift already, we'll wrap over your wrapping. Diggity double trouble wrap is wrapping up to the ceiling. And if you don't like us, we'll wrap your feelings. Our scissors are made of sleigh bell metal. Our paper, Christmas list, pre-digital. Our ribbon is made of gingerbread sugar. And our glue, 100% elf boogers. We're the Gift Wrappers. Christmas doesn't happen without our wrapping. We take your crap and wrap it up in a packet. Gift Wrappers. Got the paper on swag, son. Making that gift look oh so handsome.
Anything you want to do, I'm in.
Really?
Because I love your approach to everything that you do.
Well,
I really do.
I think that we can make that happen for sure.
Okay, great.
Okay, if you're gonna write it, let me just say then, if you're gonna write a song about anything that we're gonna do together, what do you imagine it to be? Like, if money is no object, if my lack of musical ability is no
You're so
object,
talented. Get out of here.
I think I gotta learn how to play live.
Okay.
That's my next step.
I like that for you.
But I can write, I can figure out melodies, I can figure all that stuff out, but live that's my next conquest.
I feel like that's perfect for you. I mean, you're so fast, you're so smart, you have undeniable work ethic. And if I were to think of anything we could write together, I mean, I have a notebook filled with ideas. Ready?
Do you have your notebook?
No.
You don't have it? Oh man.
At home, Eric.
I think we've already written some songs in this. You don't even know about it. You don't even know. We've already written songs. One of them is called the Persian James Brown. What is it?
James Brown People?
No, that Shut Up and Dance.
Bezano Berach.
Bezano Berach.
Shut Up and Dance also is great.
Shut Up and Dance. I love that. I mean, no, but you have you already with Raining Jane and with Becky have pounded out some dope ass jams.
Thank you.
That like the Browntown song.
Yeah.
That you have.
James Browntown.
James Browntown. I think we got to put a little in there or something. No, but that's like it could be a hip hop track.
Okay.
It's very Indian sounding, but it's also very like that. The
sitar.
The sitar, and then your drums, and it's just very Like you could sample that into something.
I love that. Great.
You ever hear when you listen to music, do you ever hear like, oh, that's a sample? That's kind of how my brain works with hip hop, I guess.
Yeah.
What's it like? Because I've worked with Jason Mraz.
Yeah.
With, on comedy projects.
Yeah.
What is it for you guys? Because you were the band, Raining Jane, you were the band for his last 2 or 3 albums?
No, just we did one record together in 2014 called Yes.
Oh.
And then we co-wrote on some songs for No, K-N-O-W.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're in the studio again, we're writing again.
Okay.
But we've been playing with him and writing with him since 2007.
Yeah, that happened from the college stuff.
Yeah. Oh my
right?
God, from a NACA show, dude.
Yeah, you opened for him.
Yes.
On a NACA show. So what was that like?
We were like the first of 4 acts.
Oh, wow. You had a lot of openers.
A lot. It was Raining Jane, then Ryan Cabrera.
Yeah.
And Matt Nathanson,
I don't know,
who I
don't remember
love.
him.
And then Jason was like the headliner. So it was like 4 girls to kick it off and then 3 solo songwriters.
Okay.
So we were like, we're not going to meet Jason. Like, there's no way he's going to come that early, you know? But he came that early.
Wow.
And like after our first song, I looked to the side of the stage and he's standing there like joyful and watching, engaged. And I'm like, is this like really happening? Like, I couldn't believe it. But we met him right after the show and he's like, you guys should be my band. And we're like, okay, LOL. Nice to meet you, Mr. Jason. I mean,
the way that you process that as opposed to how I would process that is so different.
how would you process that?
Okay. It's exactly. I have a recording of me doing this.
Yeah.
One time I was at this radio event and I'm doing this like character Smoothie. Like I'm also known as Smoothie sometimes, but I was doing it first as a radio character. And I was doing this total radio character and Run from Run DMC was there. And I go, hey, I could flow too. And he goes, yeah, kick a rhyme. And I go, all right. And I go, yo, Smoothie on the microphone, I'm loose. You gotta suck the smoothie down like I was some Jamba Juice. I'm packed with power boost, so powerful like Zeus. If I'm in a battle, ain't no way I'll call the truth. Something like that. I don't know.
I love
that. Was a rhyme that I used to spit. And he goes, oh, so okay, I see you nice. You should come down to Def Jam. I'll give you a deal right now. And then in my mind, you can hear me responding, going, okay, yeah, I'll be there. And inside, I'm like, he really liked me. He wants me to come down to Def Jam. I listen to it now. I'm like, this guy was like just being nice. He was just being
So
Run.
good.
He was just being congenial. So if Jason would have said that to me, I would have been like, yes, I'll do whatever you want. I think your approach is the healthier one.
Well, I mean, there's so many disappointments that happen in our career. There's so many people that talk, you know?
Yes.
And so we learned really early, like, just, keep your head down and do the work and do the things that are actually working. So like touring on our own, booking our own shows, all of that was working. So we just kept doing that. And so people would say like, oh, you should open for so-and-so and you should do this. And here's a manager who has no clients and no experience. You should work with him. And
I
we're
love
like,
that. I
what?
love when people go, you should do that. Hey, you should go on the Tonight Show. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Let me just go down there and, hey, I'm going to come on the show tonight.
I mean, I have my aunt always tells me I should be a weather woman, and she still to this day is like, you should send a tape of you doing the weather to Channel 4 in San Jose and see if they like your audition tape. I was like, I don't think that's how it works, but thank you for thinking I'd be great at the weather.
We could ask my friend Fritz Coleman.
You know Fritz Coleman?
He's a comedian.
Does he? What?
Yeah, he's been a comedian before he was a weatherman.
I love that.
He's a hilarious comedian.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Does he need an intern? Because my aunt wants me to intern for him.
Honestly, let's make that happen. For sure. Fritz would be down. Fritz would be down.
I'd love to be his intern.
No, Fritz, I think there's a documentary needs to be made on Fritz. Because he was a hilarious comedian before he did weather. That's how he got the weather gig.
Wow.
And he does the weather, and sometimes he does gigs. And the way that I really met, I was an intern at Channel 4.
What?
A long time ago, when I was broadcast news journalism major, and that was one of my internships was at Channel 4, and that's why I first met him. When I really met him and like got to know him was I was working in radio, and my boss from the radio, this woman Louise Palanker, asked me if I wanted to be a PA for a show that they were creating called The Couch, and it was Louise. Fritz was the host. Louise, Rob Eisenberg, parody song king.
Wow.
And James Arnold Taylor, voiceover genius.
Wow.
They were the couch, the panel, who would help people with their problems.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So it's hilarious.
Yeah. So these were hypothetical problems that we would make up, and then they would respond and do a show. And it was in Louise's living room.
Oh my God.
And we kind of like played show, and the executive producer was Henry Winkler.
What?
Yeah.
When was
guy ever.
this?
This was like probably 99, 2000, 2001. Yeah.
Can we see this on YouTube?
No,
or
it was
something?
never shot. Oh no, we shot a pilot, and I don't know whatever happened with it.
God, that sounds like
Yeah.
gold.
We shot a pilot. I can ask Fritz when we do the Make You a Weather Woman.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh.
We should make you a weather woman. We should.
Yeah. The weather is dynamic.
It really is. The weather is the one thing that people love to talk about, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
No matter it bridges any race, color, creed line.
You're right.
Sexual preference. Weather.
It's the original unifier.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's our environment in real time.
Wow.
That's I'm gonna work for the dictionary now. You're gonna get a job as a weather person. I'm gonna get a job for the dictionary.
Dude, I'm so pumped.
But what? So why? So she still wants you to be, after you've had all the success in music, she still wants you to become a weather person.
Yeah, I think my family in general was always trying to push more traditional things on me. So, my parents for a long time were like, you should move back to San Jose and work for a tech company, maybe get into HR. You'd be great at marketing. There were so many traditional things like that.
Yeah.
And my aunt was always like, you should marry a chiropractor and you should be a weather woman.
What they mean to say is, I should be marrying a chiropractor. I should become a weather woman.
But here I am. I play my box with 0 butt implants. That's just the life I live now.
You know what? And it's so captivating. It really is.
Sometimes I forget that I'm the director of a nonprofit that empowers girls.
Oh yeah.
And then I
you're
do.
sitting up here with the
Oh
butt.
my
I feel bad now. No.
I feel terrible too, but you know what? I think it's okay. No judgment. We were just trying for sound.
Yeah, we're just being silly.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And if you need me to cut it out, I'll cut it out.
Okay. Yeah, I should check in with some sisters on this.
Yeah.
But
if you would not mind playing the cajon,
yeah.
like I just want people to hear and see what the skills that I love are all about. Can we do that?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's rock.
Let's rock it.
Let's rock. Oh, and you got...
I got a couple jingles.
You got a little jingle jangle?
Just part of my small rig. Or you could just play cajon, because the high end of the...
All right.
Okay.
This is Mona Tavakoli in Box Sessions. I think we should jam.
Okay.
Yeah. 5-day forecast. Your weather won't last. She's the weather girl so fast. With the meteorology, she's got that meteor knowledge, see? Cause she knows everything about the weather. She don't wear leather cause it's bad for the environment. Don't let cows die. Let them stay alive. Hey. She's on the box that rocks, the box that talks to the rhythm. You get 'em, gotta let the rhythm hit 'em. Bring it down, yeah, now bring it down. played the bass box.
Do it again.
This is from the human beatbox. Oh, that was awesome.
You're awesome.
I learned that from the human beatbox from the Fat Boys.
That was so cool.
That was really cool.
Thanks for the collab,
Mostly
buddy.
because of you.
I don't know what that was, but I love that you did the weather rap.
The weather rap.
Right in there.
I was trying to incorporate your stuff.
We should be the Weather Girls.
Okay.
I think they
I like it.
exist.
We could be a rapping weather team, a musical weather team.
Cute.
I don't know if that's being done.
I wonder.
Well, and you know why it's not being done? Because I don't think it's really something people want. Mona,
Eric.
what advice would you give somebody who wants to be more creative?
Wow. Do it every day. Do something every day. I think you're a great example of that. I know you work every day on this creative life.
Mm-hmm.
So either I wake up right away and I do my heart dump, which is like a 5-minute.
Oh, okay. You have to drink coffee for that first, or okay.
I try to just do stream of consciousness for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I either do a quick watercolor, or I play music, I play drums, or I do my vocal stuff, or I do something creative every day. And that's the momentum continues to build in wherever I put my energy and my focus. That's it. I think I continue to have a really beautiful creative life because even if I'm not feeling creative, I try to do something creative. Sometimes I just, I have an Etsy page where I make these like little collages.
I have to ask you about this.
But that's part of my just creative expression is like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm not creating music right now, but I want to create art. So then I just took like origami paper and scissors and rubber cement on tour with me. And at night, instead of like going partying, which is not really my skill set.
It's weird.
I'm not great at partying.
I'm not either. You know what? People go, you don't drink? I go, no, I'd rather drink a coffee that I pour too many caffeines in. Or like I too many caffeines, I don't know. Too many scoops. But no, I'd rather have a tea or a coffee with caffeine in it because it's like opens my brain and makes me more creative. I remember one time in college, I was at this rager.
Yeah.
Everyone's drinking. I'm at the dry erase board with another guy coming up with puns on home. Home, what's up, Home Alone? What's up, Home Depot? And we had a list of it. And then suddenly, like, we did this for about half an hour. Everyone from the party starts coming around this dry erase board. We had a whole list of them. And people were like, oh, that's hilarious. Home pregnancy test, like at the time, that was comedy gold.
Totally.
Yeah. But.
And bringing people together and creating community instead of, anyway.
Yeah.
No
so
disrespect.
Do it every day.
Yeah.
It's like I always liken it to working out.
Yeah.
You have to lift weights every day.
You have to work that muscle.
Yeah.
So, and I really feel like if it brings you true pleasure and true joy, then you won't be disappointed if nothing comes from it. I think that's where it's really hard in our line of work because we have to sell some of our art to make a living. But I know that I can go get a job if I need to, if my creative expression is not bringing income in. But I really believe I'm doing it with such authenticity and such a truth about it that it brings me so much joy and satisfaction just to make stuff that I think that translates in some way and will continue to translate and unfold. But I feel like I don't have fear or desperation in it because I know I could go get a job, or I could babysit, or I could wash a car, or I can do something to survive, and my ego is not in control there. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. I need to listen to that. I get the fear. I get the fear thing with the money thing very much.
I get it. I mean, that's so present for all artists. I think it's, even if you make it, even if you have a hit record, it doesn't mean that that's going to sustain you for 50 years, you know, or even another year.
Right.
So if you just...
T-Pain had $40 million in the bank and then went broke.
What?
Had to borrow money.
What happened to him?
For getting his kids McDonald's or Burger King. He spent it on stupid things. All this real estate. I watched this. It was an interview on The Breakfast Club.
Oh no, and, T-Pain.
Yeah, one of my favorites. And and so he is now making it back. He's doing great, but he just spent it on stupid things and then wasn't keeping track of his money and bad real estate investments. And then it goes quick. You can blow a lot of money really quick.
Totally. And conversely, like you can just not spend a lot of money and do great things. And I've just never needed that much money to feel abundant or to feel like a generous person. That's the place I come from, is like, oh yeah, we're going to have everything that we need.
Right.
And we're going to create great things together, and we're going to help each other, and we're going to do good. And like all of that stuff is so true and in my body and in my action that I'm not afraid of it. My fear in creating art sometimes comes around, and I think we've talked about this many times. It comes from haters. And it comes from the people that have really nasty things to say. Yeah. And it hurts my feelings. And I'm like, oh, okay, but if it's true for me and it's joyful for me, then that's enough.
How do you deal with haters then?
By
the way, how do you even have any? Because I've never met anyone who doesn't like you.
That's so sweet. Thanks. My goal is never to disrespect anybody or to put anything negative out in the world. So when negative stuff comes to me, it's like, whoa, dude, why did you say that? I don't know how to handle it. I think that's the truth of it. And do you follow Brene Brown at all?
No, I've heard the name.
She's written so many beautiful books. Brene Brown opens up her book, Daring Greatly, with a quote by Theodore Roosevelt. And it's The Man in the Arena. Have you heard of this quote?
No.
I'm going to read it.
Okay, read it.
It's a little long.
Okay.
But this is what I think about and remember when I'm out in the world creating art as a means of like protecting myself a little bit. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
I like that.
You know?
Translation, fuck them haters.
And that's the name of your book.
Yeah. Well, it's like, if they don't go through it like you go through it, they don't understand it.
Yeah.
I always think, like, if you get a negative comment online, just from doing, like, YouTube and content forever, you know, when I get a negative comment, I think a couple things. There's no artist who hasn't gotten a negative comment.
Right.
That there's no popular artist that doesn't have a huge amount of haters. And the other thing is, it's actually a good thing because it's getting to an audience that it's not intended for.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
You always hear good art is polarizing. So when you start getting those hater comments, that means, wow, your art is spreading that much that it's getting to people that it was never intended for.
Wow. Yeah.
So
that's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, friend. Thanks for protecting me in the arena.
That's right. I really enjoyed our conversation in our playtime here. That was really fun. Always awesome to hang with you. I could talk to you for another hour, and maybe we will one day. I can have you back every podcast.
Or can I be your last podcast interview?
Yes.
And your first?
Yeah, but I want to have you here before the last one too.
Okay.
I have to have you back on.
You're so sweet, Eric. I really love you, and I'm so proud of you, and I cannot wait to see how this unfolds for you.
Oh, it's about to unfold.
Okay.
This is just the beginning. Love you too, and thank you. Thank you so much for coming on.
One thing about Mona, she's a a ball of light. Got that fresh inside with the beat so tight, keep it moving on a Saturday night. Floor so hot, you can fry an egg. About to blow like a powder keg. Got my cash rolled up like a turkey leg. So shake what your mama gave ya, or the doctor if you got implants. When you see her out rocking on the empty box, it's time to hit it and dance. Good God. Mona. Mona.
Episode 2, Podcast the Musical. It was a journey. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you will put those songs on repeat. I think I'm going to put these songs out, like if it's on iTunes and Spotify and all that. Would you like that? I need your feedback. So that's one of the coolest things you can do to support the podcast is just go on your favorite podcast app and rate it and comment on it. Interact with it. You got to massage the algorithm. Let me know what you want. Reach out to me on social media. Watch the clips. I post clips, video clips on my Instagram, Eric Schwartz with 3 E's, EEERICSCHWARTZ. Say it with me, Eric Schwartz. Got to say special shout out to my man Peter Marr. He is the visual producer of the show. He sets up the cameras for our 3-camera shoot. He built the studio. All the songs in this episode were produced by me. Yes, I was proud of a few of those, so I hope you liked them. We did have the first ever collaborations on this episode with Mona. So that was her singing. She got a great voice. Thank you, Mona, for lending all your talents. And we also wrote Gift Wrappers together. That was a co-write. Also on the Bezano Berach's song, Hit It and Dance, the Persian jam, her mom and dad, those are the voices of her actual mom and dad explaining Bezano Berach's. I gotta admit, I don't know exactly what they're saying, so I hope that's what they're doing. I love their voices. All right, more surprises in store next episode. Till next time. I need a Casey Kasem thing here. How do I sign off? He would say, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Help me come up with it. What's our outro tagline? All right, I don't know. We'll leave it blank. Hey, that's it. Until next time, leave it blank. I don't know. Bye.